Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 26, 2023, and it's reported that Pedri's injury is much more serious than when initially anticipated. Also, it's reported that Barcelona are currently working on extending the contract of Marc Guiu. And finally, it's also reported that Barcelona are currently interested in Mason Greenwood. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and as I reported previously, I have made a part one of this video that I published a few hours ago. This is part two because there was a lot of news that I wanted to share with you. So if you haven't watched part one, make sure to head to my channel and watch it. And having said that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All of these help the channel continue to grow. And of course, if you're all looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag where they're currently having the end of a year sale. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us where they're currently having a special offer for all new signups. Both links for kit bag and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's dive right in the news because it's reported that right before the board of directors left on holidays for Christmas, they had a dinner where they were discussing the progress of the team so far and the second half of the season. And it seems that the board of directors and the sporting staff are setting their hopes on the Spanish Cup because they believe it could be a turning point for the team, just like it was during last season. Now, I honestly don't know what the board are talking about because, yes, the team started to win more and more matches after they won the Super Cup last season against Real Madrid in that very convincing win 3-1. But I think, to me, in my opinion, at least, the team started to decline in performance after the Super Cup because even though they were winning match after match, they were unconvincing wins by the smallest difference, always 1-0 or 0-1. But apparently, according to the board, that was a turning point that made the team stronger. And they're hoping that this Spanish Super Cup, which is set to be played this January, could also be a turning point right now for Xavi's team, where the team can turn things around and start giving us some positive results after the mixed bag of results during the first half of the season. Now, I honestly don't like when clubs set some kind of their hopes on some kind of turning point or some kind of event. First of all, teams should always be striving to perform great since day one of the season, not wait until some kind of event to become a turning point. And the second reason why I don't like this is because what happens if Barcelona don't end up winning the Spanish Super Cup? Does that mean we're going to have to look for a new turning point? Or does that mean we have to throw the entire season away? I don't know, but apparently that's what the board of directors are currently thinking. Now, Barcelona are not excluding or are not ruling out playing more friendly matches to generate income in case Barcelona are knocked out of the Spanish Super Cup or are knocked out of the Champions League, because after all, Barcelona have budgeted until the quarterfinals or for Barcelona to reach the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So if Barcelona are knocked out of the round of 16, Barcelona will be short on their budget. So Barcelona are not ruling out playing more friendly matches, kind of like that friendly match they played a few days ago in the United States against Club America, or even that friendly match that they played at the end of last season in Japan against Vessel Kobe, which was the former team of Andres Iniesta. Now, speaking of the Spanish Super Cup, it's reported that Pedri's injury seems to be more serious than initially anticipated, or as they initially told us. It was initially reported that Pedri had felt some discomfort during training, and as a result, Barcelona were taking some precautions by excluding him from some matches. Well, it seems that was not the truth. It was not just a knock. It was not just discomfort. This has been a re-injury of Pedri of the same exact muscle that he injured earlier this season. And as a result, Pedri will be out until the end of January. So he'll most likely be missing the Spanish Super Cup, which of course is not good news for Barcelona, especially since Gavi is already out until next season due to that tear in his ligaments and that knee surgery that he had to undergo. Now, this is not good news at all because Pedri seems to get re-injured over and over again. In fact, I saw a pretty interesting statistics saying that Pedri has missed 46% of Barcelona matches, so almost half of all Barcelona matches that he has missed due to injury. So he has actually surpassed Dembele, who had missed 36% of all 38% of all matches when the French player used to play for Barcelona. Now, I think this is a direct consequence of what happened to Pedri during his first season under Ronald Koeman, where the Barcelona midfielder played a total of 71 matches, which is incredibly high. This was, of course, between both Barcelona and Spain, who at the end of the season, Spain took him to play the Olympics, despite Pedri having played every single match of La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League, Spanish Super Cup. He played all the competition, and then Spain called him up, and he played all the matches during the Olympics. So as a result, he ended up playing 71 matches, and I truly believe that there was a direct result of that, because ever since that season in 2019-2020, he has been getting injured over and over again. Or I'm sorry, the season was 2020-2021 when he played 71 matches, and ever since he's been getting injured over and over again. And I think this is an exact repeat of Ousmane Dembélé, who his physical trainer at Rennes, his former team, said that when Dembélé was young, he was overplayed, overexploited, and that's why Dembélé was getting injured constantly, because unfortunately his muscles had been debilitated from all that playing. I think that's exactly what's happening with Pedri. He was played a lot at such a young age that has debilitated his muscles, and as a result, he is now getting injured and injured again. And I think Barcelona are going to have to do something about this. They're going to have to figure out a way to reverse all the damage that Pedri had during that season under Ronald Koeman. Otherwise, we're going to keep seeing our midfielder injured, and it'd be such a shame because he's so young. He's only 21 years old, and it'd be a shame to see his career being constantly disrupted by these injuries. Now, speaking of injuries, another important player for Barcelona has gotten re-injured. That's Alexia Putellas, of course, our Barca feminine captain, the best female player in the world, and it's reported that she's going to have to undergo another surgery on her knee. Alexia Putellas injured her knee at the end of not last season, but the season before that. As a result, she missed most of last season, and while now she has re-injured herself once again, and she will undergo surgery again tomorrow, Wednesday, December 27th. And the club will issue a statement as soon as the surgery is over. So hopefully everything goes well. And my best wishes and prayers to our Barca feminine captain. Hopefully all goes well to her. Now, speaking of attackers, it's reported that Barcelona are now working on extending the contract of the academy superstar Marc Guiu. Now, the 17-year-old center forward's contract will expire on June 30th, 2025. And it's reported that Barcelona have already informed his agent that they want to sit down and start negotiating the extension of his contract. And of course, Marc Guiu is very much in favor of this. He doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to remain in Barcelona. And it's reported that he's even willing to make a sacrifice as far as his salary, because he wants to remain in his boyhood club. Because after all, Marc Guiu arrived in Barcelona when he was only 7 years old back in 2013, and he will turn 18 years old in a few days on January 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully this contract renewal will go smoothly, and we'll see Marc Guiu stay a lot more years in Barcelona, and hopefully we can see Xavi starting to use Marc Guiu more and more often, because after all, every match that Marc Guiu has come in off the bench, he's scored a goal for Barcelona, and I really think that this youngster deserves more opportunities than he's currently getting. So hopefully Xavi will be courageous enough to bench Lewandowski and start using Marc Guiu more often. Now, speaking of attackers, it's reported that Barcelona are now interested or are tracking Mason Greenwood. Now, the 22-year-old right winger who's currently on loan from Manchester United to to Getafe, is currently having a pretty good season. He has scored, I think, 5 goals and provided 4 assists so far. And it's reported that Barcelona are currently tracking the progress of the player at Getafe. And it's reported that Barcelona are also doing some digging, some investigation in order to find out more details about the contract between Manchester United and Getafe, to see whether Barcelona will be able to make a bid for him next summer. And the reason Barcelona need to find this out, because they don't know whether there's some kind of obligation to buy in the contract to Getafe, or maybe some kind of clause that's automatically triggered if Mason Greenwood plays a certain amount of matches for Getafe. So if Barcelona want to do some digging, they want to find out the clauses of the contract between Man U and Getafe before they can set their hopes on signing the 22-year-old right winger who fits the Barcelona profile, because he's the kind of winger who's very fast, who can dribble past players, who can make the field wider, and of course can create a lot of danger from their right wing, which Barcelona is desperately needing, because after all, Lamine Yamal is only 16 years old, and of course we've all seen how bad Rafinha is. Now we will end today's video with the news about Bernardo Silva, because as I reported in previous videos, it was initially being speculated that in the contract renewal of Bernardo Silva with Manchester City, who extended until 2026, there was a clause that would allow him to leave before the contract expires next summer. And while now the English media have confirmed this clause in Bernardo Silva's contract, so it is true Bernardo Silva would be able to activate this clause next summer and leave Manchester City. And it's reported that Bernardo Silva decided to include this clause because it's Barcelona's interest in him. Now, this clause is worth 60 million euros. So if Barcelona want to buy the player next summer, they will have to pay 60 million euros, which, of course, given the club's current financial situation, is very highly unlikely. But of course, I wanted to let you know of the news. So now you know Bernardo Silva does have a clause that allow him to terminate his contract early, but it would cost 60 million euros, which puts him beyond the grasp of the club. Anyways, that is all the news for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, please drop a comment down below letting me know all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. Finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel, because it goes a long, long way in helping the small and humble channel continue to grow. Finally, I forgot to mention, or I did mention it, but I want to mention it again. There is a video that I posted earlier. If you haven't watched it, make sure to watch it. A lot of great news in that video. And that is it for today. Have a good night. I will see you in tomorrow's live stream at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visca Barça.